Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I'm Toni Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
That is a true fact.
Today we're going to be talking about the second serial of the 7th season of Doctor Who. Doctor Who and the Silurians. Silurians? Slurpiups. It consists of 7 episodes that aired from January 31st, 1970 to March 14th, 1970. It's called Doctor Who and the Silurians, which was a mistake.
I mean, kind of.
No, it definitely was a mistake. All of the scripts said Doctor Who and Doctor Who and blank, and they would always just cut that off when they'd air them. But some dude, whoever did the titles, just got the script and was like, oh, it's Doctor Who and the Silurians, even though they always previously had cut off the Doctor Who.
Do you know why it's called that, though?
It's not his name! It's not his name.
Then why is he credited that way?
I don't know. Because Doctor Who...
You're just gonna have to let it go. This isn't something worth being upset about.
No, it's a mistake. It was definitely a mistake. And they stopped putting it on the scripts because that mistake happened. So, anyway, those are the facts.
True facts!
I'm going to give a special shout out to Matt Golden of mgoldentumbles.tumblr.com for getting us this episode. You were awesome.
Hey, thanks, Matt.
Anything we need to talk about before we jump into this episode? Oh, I have made contact with one of the guys in charge of doing stuff at Wholanta, and it's looking very possible that we'll be doing a live podcast recording.
That sounds terrifying, and like maybe a bad decision.
So if you want to come see us in person, I don't know when it is or what it is. We haven't gotten any details yet, but...
That's great. You're super great at promoting this.
I know, but I mean, I don't know like when I think it's in May, but I don't know like any specifics about our thing yet, because it's just the beginning stages.
It's still happening.
But I'm thinking we might be doing the second Doctor Who movie. Not the second Doctor.
Just all of the second Doctor. No, we did that already.
No, yeah. But it's the second Peter Cushing movie.
Oh.
What is Dalek Invasion 2045 AD? I don't know. It's got the longest name. I can never remember it. And you can come see it live, you guys. See us talking live. Anything else going on?
No, we're just watching Doctor Who.
So let's do it. Let's talk about Doctor Who and the Silurians.
Why is that so hard to say? I could not figure out how to say it. And I kept telling you were saying it wrong, but you were not.
Is it Silurians?
It is it's
Silurians.
I can't say it.
To be fair, they're not Silurians. There's no way they're Silurians.
What?
I read on Wikipedia, like, he's like, they're from the Silurian era or whatever, but it's not possible.
Why isn't it possible?
I don't remember. It's not like reptiles were not from that time period.
What is specifically the Silurian time period?
Tuesday. Let's see. Silurian is a geologic period and system spanning 24.6 million years from the end of the Ordovician period.
I'm almost certain you're not saying that right, but I've been wrong before. We were just saying
443.8 million years ago.
That means nothing to me, though.
To the beginning of the Devonian period, which was 419.2 million years ago.
Which is...
Or Maya.
Identified by what, though? Give me some context that means
a significant evolutionary milestone during the Silurian era was the diversification of jawed and bony fish.
All right.
Multicellular life also began to appear on land in the form of small, bryophyte-like and vascular plants that grew beside lakes, streams, and coastlines. And terrestrial arthropods are also first found on land during the Silurian era.
But we haven't gotten to reptiles, is that...
Probably.
I feel like if you're gonna bring up this, like, hey, fun fact...
True facts!
You should maybe know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
You haven't been able to answer any of my questions.
I answered them very clearly and plainly. With words that were clearly my own and not from Wikipedia. I mean, I think they address it in a future episode, and they say that they're probably more from this other era, which is also wrong.
Really?
Yeah, it's also like, no, it couldn't be from that era either. Because I think they might have gotten some backlash from it from smarter people.
Of course they did.
Because nerds watch this show.
Because that's just how Doctor Who nerds roll.
And then they're like, alright, we'll fix it. And then like, they tried. They tried. While I'm looking up to see what exactly it is, because I'm dumb, another...
True facts!
This is the first episode to use color separation overlay.
Color separation overlay. Are you talking about the green screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was called color separation overlay. Back in the day.
That was an aggressive Joe fact.
Joe facts!
Reptiles had not evolved by the Silurian period. That's all it says.
I mean, okay, but also, like, neither did talking reptiles, so, like...
That speak English for some reason.
Well, the TARDIS is there.
Is it?
It's there, so it could be translating.
The TARDIS is not there. They're not at UNIT.
Oh, you're right. They're not. I got nothing. They just speak English. Because of convenience. Maybe the TARDIS is just stretching really hard. I don't know.
Maybe the writers are just stretching really hard.
I've actually heard, like, theories that it's, like, the Doctor is part of the translation circuit. So if you're around the Doctor, even if you're away from the TARDIS, you still get the translation thingy. It's a thing I've read.
That sounds legit.
I mean, that being said, the translation circuit hasn't actually been invented yet. And like,
Right.
we had an episode not that long ago where we had people actually speaking different languages. But that's fine.
It's a little sloppy.
It's not sloppy. It's...
Sloppy.
No.
Sloppy. But should we talk about the actual series?
No.
Alright.
I think we should actually just talk about, like, what's your favorite cereal?
Oh, that's a tough one. I like so many cereals.
I know, you really love cereal.
Doctor Who and the Silurians.
That's your favorite cereal.
Yeah, Doctor Who and the Silurians.
It comes with tiny marshmallow lizards.
Yeah.
No, we should really actually probably talk about the cereal. Which, by the way, I don't know how you knew when I said cereal.
You wanted me to make that dumb joke?
Yes.
Because we're married.
Oh, right.
Episode 1, Video Killed the Film Star, because this is the first serial of 3 that's in video and not film.
Not film.
Which
it's
is...
not as pretty.
It's still alright.
Still good. Still good.
But it's definitely a step down.
Yeah.
Things look kind of red. Is that just me?
I don't know.
They look too red. Like, muddied red.
There's probably something to that, but I don't know.
And blurrier. Not as sharp.
Well, that's definitely because you just watched one on film.
Yep. Anyway, we're in a cave. Welcome back, Caves. I think this is your first appearance.
We've missed you, Caves. It's Doctor Who again. It's always been Doctor Who. But we've missed the Caves.
The Caves are back, though. This is the first appearance in the 3rd Doctor.
Your note says lizard thing.
Well, there's roars. And then we see a giant... Well, we see hints of a giant lizard. We don't actually see the giant lizard.
Yes.
Like a big claw comes down and hits this cave. There's 2 guys. They're both like not cavemen. I don't want to say cavemen. They're not cavemen.
They're
explorers. There you go. That's the words I was looking for. They are exploring the cave and they have like, cave diving equipment and shit on. Little helmets and what have you.
Joe with the technical knowledge today.
Color separation overlay. Yeah, one of them gets attacked and the other one runs off. So one of them gets away and one of them gets smacked around a bit. Not a Silurian, by the way. Or Silurian.
Did you say them differently just then?
I did. Silurian.
I have zero idea how it's pronounced.
I don't know either. It's probably pronounced both ways.
I kept saying Silurian, I think.
Solarian?
Solarian.
Please write in with how to pronounce this dumb word.
We're never going to get through this podcast if we can't say this.
But it doesn't matter. That's not one. It's a giant...
It's just a lizard.
It's a dinosaur, really. It's a giant dino.
Which it looks...
Well, we'll get to that when we get to it.
Right.
We don't see it yet, because I want to save that for when it's revealed.
Okay.
Color separation overlay. Oh, we go to UNIT, where the Doctor is working on his brand new buggy. His little yellow car.
Aw, it's so cute. He's so cute. I'm so proud of both of them.
He's singing while working. He calls it Bessie. There's a license plate that says, "Who won?"
Yes.
Ugh. No. Why would it be called Who?
I don't understand why you don't get enjoyment out of that.
Because he's not Doctor Who.
That's funny.
It's not.
You're mistaken. It'd be like, I don't know, the Doctor wearing question marks.
Well, he's
just all over his clothes.
He's a mystery. That's fine. Why the fuck does he wear, like, vegetables on his clothes?
Because he's a precious being who needs to be protected, that's why.
There's no reason for that. So
There is.
There's probably no reason for the question marks.
Allergies.
Allergies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, spoilers. We're never getting through this. It's barely the beginning of episode 1, and we're talking about allergies. So, let's get on with the story. Liz and the doctor are called to a meeting, to which the doctor does not wish to go, but is convinced with the promise of caves, and exploring said caves.
Gosh. I didn't even really think about that, but it's true. He's missed them too.
He hasn't been in
Which
one yet.
Which doesn't make any sense because only like bad things have ever happened in them.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been in a cave. Well, I don't think he's ever been anywhere where he was just like, that was a nice day.
He gets little mini beach vacations. Not mini as in M-A-N-Y, but mini as in short, small.
Most people don't have to clarify that because they sound different when they say them.
Silurians.
Okay. All right. I see your point.
But, so they go. But, well, before they do, he starts his car up. He, pats it and it comes on. Like he's the fucking Fonz or something.
No, he has to put something in it, doesn't he?
That's later, I think.
He's tinkering it with it still. Oh, that's later?
Yeah, when he puts something in it.
You're right.
But, here, it's, not working. He, pats it and it goes... And he's like, yep, that's what I wanted it to do. The doctor in vehicles scares me.
You wouldn't drive in a car with him?
Have you seen the way he flies the TARDIS?
I was going to say, you sound iffy about the TARDIS.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems even more reckless in a car.
I would leave in the TARDIS in a heartbeat, just so you know.
Yeah, I probably would too. But I don't know if I get in a car with him. So they go to this meeting, which is in a bright orange room in a cave, in the caves. And we meet our first antagonist, I guess. Who's just this Weasley little guy in a suit.
He's the worst.
He's basically like, let me do my job, and you're interfering with my job, and I don't want you interfering with my job, and I don't trust you guys, and I want to do my job.
This is a very familiar character who's just doesn't want anything to be done. He's like, I want things to just be done my way, and nobody question anything or get in my way. You're the one causing trouble. And that character annoys the crap out of me.
He thinks they're always interfering. He doesn't believe anything they say. He thinks that they're just out to get him. That sort of character. A dumb fuck.
That is the technical term, yes. Joe, again today, with the technical terms.
Color separation overlay. We learned that there's a, I'm not going to say that word. Okay, I'm going to say that word. There's nuclear. Did I say it right?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
You don't know either?
No. I feel like no matter what I say, I'll get yelled at.
The place they are at are doing, experiments and stuff with nuclear energy.
It's definitely not that one.
Nuclear energy. Nuclear. Silurians?
Oh my god, come on, man.
Anyway, they're doing a bunch of stuff, but a bunch of people have been leaving, quitting. There's been power outages, and UNIT is there to figure out what the fuck's going on. That's their job. Then we get the doctor's gonna start fucking with stuff, but he can't find a screwdriver, which I think is the first reference to him having a screwdriver, but he doesn't use it at all.
No, he does not.
But he's like, no, you don't get to fuck with stuff unless I say you can fuck with stuff. So
the doctor's like, okay, sure. I'm gonna fuck with all your shit?
Someone's talking to the doctor. I don't know who. His name's Baker. He's a close talker, though. He thinks that it's sabotage.
Why is he such a close talker?
I don't know. But he gets right up in the doctor's face. He's like, it's sabotage.
It was an uncomfortable scene. It made me feel weird.
Then we get a tour of the facility. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. This first episode is kind of boring.
It is true.
It's hard to remember what happens in this because this episode is setting stuff up and it's kind of boring. It gets better, you guys.
Yes.
But this episode is hard to remember. So that's why I'm just sort of reading my notes playing. Okay, I guess that happened. They get a tour of the facilities. There's something about it could be turned into a bomb. But I don't know if that ever went anywhere.
It did. In the end. When they, spoilers, turn it into a bomb.
Well, did they turn it into a bomb? Oh, yeah, I guess they did.
It's kind of a major plot point of the serial.
You are correct. I'm dumb. Moving
I don't know if that went anywhere, but
yeah,
it did.
I'm dumb.
It played into how the whole thing ended.
Liz starts getting a headache in there, but did that turn into anything? See, I don't remember any of this paying off.
No, I think she's just getting tired. Or no, it does, because there are people who are more sensitive to whatever is going on, and that's why there were so many. There were there's a thing later where they're or it's not even later, I think it's in this episode, where they're yeah, we've been having all these problems, and also we've been having a lot of personnel problems, people resigning and leaving and getting sick.
Right.
And part of the reason why is because there are some people who are particularly sensitive to...
The energy that the machine's making, maybe?
No, I don't.
Silurians.
Yes.
We'll probably figure it out as we go.
We'll remember. We'll get there.
They find out about the two that were... Well, the one guy that was attacked and the other one that just bolted. Actually, one of them died. The one that got hit died, and the other one's in the sick bay.
He's in the sick bay and he is not doing well.
His name is Spencer. Spencer is the guy who did not die.
Yeah, he's drawing shit on the walls. And this is really dumb. Like, the doctor goes in to see him, and they're like, what happened to him? What's up? And the doctor's like, he got so scared, he de-evolved?
It threw his mind back millions of years.
So he's a caveman now. He got so scared, he's a caveman now.
See, I thought this was going to be some sort of, plan of the Silurians to just de-evolve people or something. But nope, he just got so scared, he reverted to prehistoric. It's dumb.
I'm not
It happens to more than one character in this serial.
And it's also...
And that's the only reason for it, is just because they got really scared.
This also doesn't actually really play into things much. So it's like a weird thing that doesn't have oh, okay, that's fine, because it pays stuff later off. I mean, that wasn't a sentence at all.
Pays stuff off later.
Yep. Didn't say it once. It's not even important, so it's not oh, that's fine, it pays stuff, it's setting something up. I wasn't gonna be able to say it again, I could tell.
Do you want to give it a third go?
I don't know if I can. You know what? It wasn't even that good of a point.
Then we're just moving on. Actually, before he even goes in to go see this guy, we meet the guy who's sort of controlling the lab. He's this very smiley guy who is immediately suspicious.
Oh, yeah.
A woman comes in to help him. She's also suspicious because they're both suspicious. They're in cahoots. They're secretly talking about stuff. We don't know what they're doing yet, but they're clearly up to something. I don't remember their names at this point, but I've got them down as smiley guy and woman. There's a scene with the brig. The doctor sort of tells him what all he's sort of discovered and stuff, and the brig's like, that guy just had a normal, everyday nervous breakdown.
Because that's what makes sense.
Not being thrown back into the past mentally from fear. They adorably bicker a little bit. And there's this really cute Sherlock Watson scene. Bit of dialogue.
Where they're trying to decide which one's Sherlock and which one's Watson.
Does the brig say, "Well, come along, Watson"?
Yes, he does.
See, that's an interesting dynamic. That's what I'm saying. I feel weird in this with what's happening right now with the Doctor and Unit and all that. The Doctor's almost been pushed into a companion role.
We've said, we've been calling them Team TARDIS, and that this feels more like Team Unit.
The dynamics all swibbly swapped,
Another technical term?
Another technical term. Color separation overlay.
Jesus.
But while they're being adorable, alarms go off and they get out of there. They were doing some energy test thing. I don't know. And one of the guys in there just starts freaking out. Someone who's been affected by the thing. Much like Liz was, but way more so. And the Doctor takes over and fixes things, and he's like, this room is causing problems. It's nearest the caves, so there must be something in the caves that's the problem.
Doctor just wants to go see a neat cave.
And that's when he finds out, because there was some missing papers in the paperwork, which I think said that there was claw marks or something. I don't remember any of this. We're just trying to get to the second episode where things get better. So the Doctor goes spelunking, and he's in his cave gear, which I think that should be the new look for the Doctor.
I agree.
He's got his little cave helmet on, little miner's helmet, you know what I mean? And he's got ropes tied around him, and it's orange, right?
Yeah.
Or is it brown? Orange-ish brown. Both similar colors. Anyway, they go down there.
It's just dark orange, really.
So he's going around, and of course he bumps into the dinosaur.
Which we see?
It looks like something you would find in your bathtub. Not a toy for a small child.
Oh, I've personally never found a giant dinosaur in my bathtub.
It doesn't look that giant. It looks like a toy dinosaur, very plasticky looking.
It reminded me a lot of that scene in Sliders with the dragon. In fact, I think I made you look it up afterwards.
You did. I think you wanted me to look it up while we were watching the episode. What was it called? I forget the name of that.
It had dragon in the title.
Dragon Slide or something.
It was not called Dragon Slide.
But it was with SLYDE, so you knew it was medieval.
That's not it.
I'm pretty sure it's called Dragon Slide.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Feel free to correct me, internets, but it's Dragon Slide.
But he doesn't care. Anyway, that's how the first episode ends.
Now we're into episode 2, which I have called The Doctor's Never Late for His Own Search Party.
Oh.
Why do you always say, oh, after I tell you the titles?
I don't know how else to react.
So the big rubber claw of the dinosaur advances onto the Doctor and then leaves.
He just gets tired and walks away.
And we hear a noise that neither one of us were sure was a noise or the score. We eventually learned it is a noise.
It is a noise.
But at this point, it was ambiguous. Because it was a melodic beeping, which happens a lot on Doctor Who. Melodic beepings. And so the Doctor sees the footprint of the thing. He's like, I'm going to go get people, and then I'm going to bring them back. And we look like, hey, look, dinosaur. And even if the dinosaur's not there, there's a footprint. But meanwhile, the brig is like mad because the Doctor went off by himself, and he's lost now. And he's like getting a search party together. And the Doctor shows up for it.
They're literally all, like, around this table, like, oh, what are we gonna do? He hasn't come back yet. And what are they, like, saying about him as he, like, waltzes through the door? I swear it's the most dramatic he could possibly be. And he's like, who, me?
Doctor, who are you looking for?
Oh my god. No.
Why not? That's his name, according to you.
It's not according to me, it's according to the show. I didn't write the end credits.
So anyway, so the Doctor tells Brig and Liz and everybody about seeing the dinosaur. I think he specifically says it looks like one he's seen before. And someone else is like you saw in a museum? He's like, no. I mean, maybe.
I mean, oh yeah, probably. I should probably be lying about that. I haven't gotten the hang of this yet.
So they discuss things while the Doctor eats tiny sandwiches, which made Toni happy.
Because they weren't just tiny sandwiches, first of all. For real, first of all. You know I love watching people on Doctor Who eat things. We don't know why, I just know that I enjoy it. Second of all, they weren't just tiny sandwiches. They were cut out into little shapes. Who cut them out into little shapes for him? Was it the brig? I bet it was the brig.
Was it the brig or was it Liz? That seems more of a Liz thing to do.
I mean, I don't know. You're probably right. But
Brig made the sandwiches.
And Liz
then
cut
Liz
them
cut
up
them
into
out.
little shapes. Oh my god. The point is, somebody cut those sandwiches out into little shapes, and that's adorable.
I think they were mostly stars.
They were stars.
So they're like, alright, let's go blow stuff up. That's what we've decided to do.
We're a unit, and that's how we solve problems.
And I was like, no, don't do it.
Could we maybe even try talking, or no? We're just gonna jump right to blowing things up? Alright.
So, but they're gonna go look to see what's going on down there. And they go to the footprint, but the footprint is gone. What? Doesn't matter anyway, because the dinosaur still shows up.
That's true.
Well, one of the guys, they're like sort of split off, and one of the unit people sees what he thinks is a guy, which turns out to be a Silurian, shoots at him, but then he gets knocked down by the dinosaur, and then he starts acting all, oh, I'm in the past.
I'm so scared, I'm a caveman.
But they see blood from whatever he shot at. They're going to try to follow it. We see its POV. We don't actually see it. We see its silhouette. It like comes out of the cave. It goes up.
It's kind of creepy, the point of view shot.
Yeah, it's like split into 3. And there's a red bit over the top because it's looking through its visor. Yeah, helmet or something. But it's like split into 3 and there's like a red. The top chunk's like red. It's very unsettling. It basically becomes like an 80s horror movie at this point. And then the Doctor sort of examines the like blood and blah blah blah, and he thinks that there are 2 creatures, one big and one small. He's right. There are.
We've seen them both.
Meanwhile, the wounded Silurian can find no room in the inn, so goes out to the barn and dives into a stack of hay, which we all see from his point of view. That's where he's going to go take a nap. It's in a big old pile of hay. And then there's this like whole thing where they're trying to find the guy who runs the lab. His name is Quinn, according to my notes. And they're like, he's not here. He's sleeping in a cottage. He's writing a book. I don't know. He's not here. That's not suspicious. And the Doctor's like, well, I want to talk to him about these power losses. But what really is happening is Quinn has gone down into the caves, and he goes to this fancy door. This red light like attacks him, or doesn't attack him, but like goes brrrr at him, this red light. And the door opens, and he walks in, and there's this chair, which isn't really a chair, it's just a thing you lean up against with armrests.
I didn't understand understand that set piece at all, but I enjoyed it. Because he looks so uncomfortable in it.
Well, it's for Silurians. It's not for humans.
Yes. Well, and also there's something about, like, the way that he moves. Like you said, the red light. So I think it's supposed to be like a beam that's, like, pushing him around. Because he looks kind of frozen the way he moves and stuff. And he kind of gets, like, slid into the armrest thing. And he's very uncomfortable. And, like, the armrest is too high. And so his arms are up here. I don't know. He just looks very uncomfortable. And it looks very silly. And I enjoyed it.
That basically gets him in contact with the Silurians. He's, like, trying to warn him about, like, the doctor and stuff. And them poking around. And they're like, one of those fuckers shot one of our fuckers. We're mad. They shot one of our people. And also we need more power. And also we want you, Quinn, to go get the wounded Silurian and help him out because you're the only one who knows about us. And he's like, I'll do it, but I want the secrets you promised me. The science secrets.
I want all your secret science knowledge.
And then they're like, we'll give you your secrets when you return the wounded Silurian to us. And they give him a device which makes the boop, 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 boop noise, the beeping, booping, bopping noise that we thought was score. But it's a summoning device. When he plays it, the Silurian will hear it and come to him.
I really like the logic of that. Like, they have super advanced technology. They're like, yeah, here's this beatbox. And he'll just follow the sound of the beeps. Alright, sounds legit.
They're an advanced race. Actually, they're an ancient race.
They are. They're ancient and advanced.
How does that work?
They're more technically advanced than we are. But they're old.
That doesn't make any sense. So then we cut back to the farm. Just another day at the farm. Everything's all nice and happy. I believe there's some, like, ridiculous piece of score that's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. The farmer goes to go pitchfork some hay, and there's a lizard in his hay. There's a lizard in my hay? It's more likely than you'd think.
You said that all wrong.
Did I?
Yeah, there's a lizard in my hay? That's how you read that.
Well, sorry, I didn't emphasize the right syllable. Color separation overlay. So, he starts yelling to his wife, there's a lizard in my hay! Get the police! And he is attacked immediately afterwards. Everyone's acting in this scene is interesting.
Choices were made.
Probably the wrong ones. Nobody acts like normal people would act in this scene. The farmer and his wife are both, I don't know, just bad. It's just bad.
For example...
I don't know, he's just like very calmly and blandly like, get the police! There's a lizard in my hay! I don't know, it's very stilted.
Alright.
So meanwhile, the doctor has like poked around a lot and is like, this machine works perfectly. The power losses can't be because of it. There has to be some sort of outside influence. And he says, we should shut it down in the meantime because we don't know who's doing it and what's going on and what they're trying to do. The stupid suit guy, says no and is extra grumpy.
No, you can't shut it down. This is my job and I have to do my job. Blah, 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 blah. He's the worst and I hate him.
If I do it twice as much. And he wants them to leave.
Yeah, he's gonna go above the Brig's head, I think. Where he's like, I'm gonna basically have you guys removed because you suck. You haven't solved anything yet, and you're just getting in my way.
And the Brig's like, well, I'm staying here until you can actually kick us out. But then the police come in and tell him about the dead farmer. It seems very similar to what happened to the people in the cave. So they go to check it out, but the claw marks on it do not match the big dinosaur claw marks, thus proving the doctor's theory that there's small dinos and big dinos. But he also says, this farmer didn't die from claw attack. He died from heart failure. Fear.
He was so afraid he died.
And the farmer's wife is also in shock and acting scared. And like everybody else in this fear, throw back to the past bullshit thing. They're at the hospital and he's like questioning the farmer's wife. And the doctor draws a lizard, one of the Silurians, really well.
Yeah!
Shows it to her and she's like, oh, that was it, I think. The doctor's like, oh no. And we see that Liz is still doing, like, taking samples and stuff from the barn. Because they couldn't find him. They thought he, like, busted out.
Yeah, they're like, well, he's not here anymore.
But he still was. They didn't look very hard. He was still in the barn, hiding.
That's true. They didn't look very hard.
Because it comes out after Liz, who's still in the barn. And she is attacked.
That's the end.
Of the serial. Not a very good one.
A lot of unanswered questions. I think we make that joke like once every other podcast.
That's in episode 2. We're now into episode 3. Liz, Meet lizard.
Oh.
You always say oh.
That was an appreciative oh.
Yeah? You like that one?
I didn't hate it.
Well, that's an improvement. Okay, I remember when I said the first episode was kind of boring, but it got better. The second episode didn't get better. I mean, the horror movie stuff was interesting, but we still haven't gotten to the point where the episode gets great.
No, yeah, this serial...
And it's not this episode either.
This serial spends a lot of time being boring, and then it spends a great deal of time being amazing. We haven't gotten there yet. We're still in the boring bits.
It spins its wheels for about 3 episodes.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're very, very close.
Just soldier on, you guys. So the woman from the lab, who's in cahoots with Quinn, shows up at his cottage. He shows her the device, sort of fills her in about what's going on.
He seems very proud, too. He's like, they gave it to me so I can find him. And she's like, oh, okay.
Whereas she's more nervous about it.
Yes.
But back at the barn, Unit breaks into the barn. Liz is okay. Unit thinks they hear something and they go to attack a chicken, an evil
Liz is
chicken.
okay, but she definitely got attacked.
That's when they find the hole where the thing escaped from. Why didn't they search the barn the first time? What's wrong with them?
Too much thinking, not enough blowing stuff up. Didn't like that plan.
And the doctor takes care of Liz, which is really adorable.
Yeah, he's very doting over her, making sure she's okay and checking up on her and stuff.
While also still trying to get intel about, like, what did you see? Did you see a lizard? I bet it was a lizard. Was it a lizard? It was a lizard.
Was it one of the big ones or one of the small ones?
It was medium-sized. When we say small dinosaurs, by the way, we're not talking like they're tiny. They're human-sized.
They know what a Silurian is. I can't say it, man. They know what a Silurian is.
One of my favorite New Who characters is a Silurian.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Astro?
She's my wife.
I thought she was the other character's wife.
No.
Okay.
They both are. They're both my wife.
All right. Then Quinn shows up at the barn. The doctor is very suspicious of this, but no one else is, especially the brig, who's oblivious. Constantly oblivious. So anyway, they're gonna, the search party is set up to find the Silurian. And Quinn's like, well, I gotta go. Bye. And they're like, well, where are you going? He's like, oh, I got stuff to do.
I just go to my cottage.
Yeah, I just dropped by here to see what's going on. And
he literally is like, I was just in the neighborhood.
Well, then he leaves, and then Liz is like, they're literally looking at a map because they just started a search party thing, and they're like, this is where you go, and this is where you go. And Liz is like, his house is here. This barn is here. He went way out of his way to get here. Is that suspicious? No? Alright. And Quinn, meanwhile, is pulled off to the side of the road somewhere and gets his little device out.
He gets his device out and he's standing on the side of the road. I don't know what his plan was, really. Because he, turns it on and it's doing its beep thing. And then he sees a helicopter and it's the search party.
Yeah, so he just waves at it.
He just waves at it. Why'd he do it at the side of the road where he knew the search party was?
Quinn's not very bright.
He basically, drew it out into the open for the search party.
But it did work. The lizard does get to him.
Yeah, but the guy in the helicopter calls the brig and was like, so that was weird. Maybe we need to, check on that guy. See what's happening. I do like that his plan's oh no, I've been caught. Wave. That'll get rid of any suspicion.
Well, yeah, because he's being friendly. Evil people can't be friendly. Oh, okay, so, the brig and the doctor are driving around. The doctor's driving the brig around, which he's awfully trusting of his driving, which he drives so recklessly. And they find footprints of the Silurian, and they're smaller footprints. And he's like, they're biped footprints. And Toni was like, the other dinosaur was a biped. They're both bipeds. Why are you making that distinction? One of them is just a big biped, but they both walk on two.
They're both bipeds, yes.
Yeah.
One of them is humanoid, which maybe isn't the right term for something that technically came before humans, but it is.
So are you saying we are Silurianoids?
Yes. We are primate Silurianoids.
I don't think you said that right.
I didn't say any words right. Talking is hard.
They find car tracks, which were, I believe, Quinn's, and they're going to follow that. I don't remember. Meanwhile, the guy that shot the Silurian wants out of the hospital. Can't remember anything after he shot the Silurian. So then the doctor goes to Quinn's cottage and drops in and is hanging out with him. He's like, your air is all the wrong temperature. I don't remember if it was too hot or too cold.
It's too hot.
Too hot.
Because they're lizards.
And he's like, oh, it's broken. I'm going to get it fixed. The doctor's like, I can fix that for you. And he's like, I've already called the repair guy, and you're fine. Just go away. Go away. So the doctor's like, all right, but
go away and don't be suspicious.
The doctor's like, all right, I'll go away, but if you need me, just let me know. He shuts the door, and he takes a moment, and then he starts walking, and he looks over, and the window next to the door, the doctor's just hardcore peeking in. He's like, oh, hey, and the doctor waves and leaves. It's great. Sneaky doctor.
The doctor also just waving to avoid suspicion.
So the doctor goes back to the lab area or whatever, breaks in, or goes into Quinn's office and just starts breaking into his shit, trying to find out stuff about him. And they find a globe of Pangea.
I was really mad that at no point they said the word Pangea, too.
I thought they did. I thought they did say Pangea.
Did they?
Or I guess they definitely said before Continental Drift, but I don't know.
It took them if they said it took them a while, because I remember being like, it's Pangea. It's called Pangea. And I don't know why I was like that, except that I knew a thing. And that happens so very rarely. But I was like, are they going to say it? Are they going to say Pangea? So I don't think they did.
They might. I don't remember. But there's also notes about the stuff, and specifically the Silurian era, which is where the name of the creatures come from, is the Silurian era, which they could not have come from, as previously mentioned in a previous Joe Fact.
Joe Facts!
Please refer to previous Joe Fact. Please refer to Joe Fact A1.
I want steak.
Oh my god. You put A1 on your steaks?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay, someone's like, if it's a good steak, you don't need no steak sauce. But I'm eating steak at a fast food franchise. I'm gonna put A1 sauce on it.
That's true. But also, I just don't like A1.
No, you're wrong.
Alright.
A1's good. It's also good on fries.
It's weird to me. I don't know. It tastes too much like vinegar.
It tastes brown to me.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but it feels right. When I think of the color brown, that's the taste I think of.
I don't know how to get back on track.
They try to talk to the woman whose name is Dawson, and they almost get through, but then she clams up because the brig interrupts, and then she's like, oh wait, I shouldn't say anything, and then leaves. And then both the doctor and Liz are like, brig? Ugh, just the worst.
They're not having him around.
He's always, what do I do? I'm just here.
He is not allowed in Fort Science.
He's also very, very oblivious. Did I mention he's oblivious? He's kind of oblivious.
A little bit.
He does not pick up on any of the sneaky shit Quinn does. Anyway, Dawson is now worried about Quinn, so she goes to warn him, but also is like, you need to just tell them about these. You need to tell the doctor about these Silurians and everything. And he's like, Quinn's like, no, I think the doctor wants to steal my discoveries and my secrets that I'm going to get from the Silurians. And he's like, and guess what? I'm totally going to get those secrets because I'm holding the Silurian hostage. I'm using that wounded Silurian as blackmail.
Which doesn't make any sense. That was already, bring him back. We'll give you the secrets.
Yeah, but he probably doesn't trust him. He's like, I'm just going to wait till I get my secrets before I give them.
Just seems rude.
But he's a bad guy. Meanwhile, the guy who shot the Silurian is just, getting, amped up and we should kill all of them. We should kill all of those monsters. And Briggs like, no, but I do want to search the caves. Doctor's like, we should all just calm our jets and stop making rash plans. And then we get here that classic Doctor Who thing. The higher up is coming. Why is there always there's a higher up coming to examine things? It's happened in 4 different serials. So the Doctor's like, I'm going to go to Quinn's and see what's going on with him. There's no answer. So he just goes in because Doctor doesn't care about your privacy. And guess what he finds? Quinn's dead body. And
that's why you shouldn't be rude.
Yeah.
That's why you don't keep hostages. Duh.
And the doctor finds the device, the boop boop device, and turns it on.
The boop box.
And then a Silurian walks in. The first time we see him in full. We've only seen POVs before, or silhouettes. And this is the first time we see a Silurian. And they basically look like the creature from the Black Lagoon. Just fish head looking dudes.
Yeah, they're not bad.
And it just starts advancing towards the doctor. And that's the cliffhanger. And that's the end of episode 3.
Here's where it starts to get good.
We're now into episode 4, which I've called Saboteurs and Monsters. I didn't have a good one. This is the moment for me where this serial picks up amazingly. Is the resolution to this cliffhanger, which is the Silurian is coming towards the doctor. And the doctor just holds his hand out and goes, hello, and offers a handshake. That's amazing.
It's very Doctor Who.
It is the doctor.
Yeah, I think every doctor has a moment where you're like, oh, it is him. Post regeneration, they have that moment where you're like, oh, it's still the doctor. This is Threes.
And he seems like legitimately concerned and wants to help. And he's like, I want to help you. I just want to know what's going on. I don't think you guys are bad. Like everyone else does. Everyone else wants to blow you guys to fuck. But then the Silurian, runs away. Gets out of there. And the doctor looks very sad. I don't remember why he ran. Is something coming? I don't remember.
Somebody else came in.
Anyway, the guy who shot the Silurian has a guard on his hospital room now because he escaped before. And now they're like, you stop getting out of the hospital. You're still you need to be there. But he tricks his guard, hits him in the shoulder, karate chops him. And then he basically runs off into the caves.
And I think the brig follows after him shortly thereafter.
Did I already say his name is Baker?
Nope.
Okay. The guy who shot the Silurian, his name is Baker. He's running around in the caves, and he steps in this, bubbly liquid. A red light gets shine. The Silurian comes out and a red light shines on him. And
that little beam thingy that was moving around.
It comes from there. They have a third eye.
Yeah, they have a little glowy eye light that they flash at people that makes people do things.
So the doctor returns, doesn't tell anybody about Quinn being dead.
No, doesn't mention it. Which means Quinn's body just sort of hangs out there.
I mean, they find out eventually.
Eventually. A couple episodes from now. And, even, it's brought up, and the doctor doesn't, mention it. Somebody says something about Quinn.
He's worried about the Silurians, and he's like, if I tell them that, they're just gonna...
They're gonna
blow
not
him up.
Trust him.
Because they're about to do a search party, do a cave search, and the doctor's like, you should call it off. You shouldn't do it. We don't have enough information, and blah, blah, blah. And the brig's, really annoyed. He leaves, but then the doctor does tell Liz about Quinn and the Silurian. He's like, I think they only attack for survival. And Quinn,
you might do.
Yeah, and Quinn was keeping him hostage, so it's fine. So he's like, I'm going to go into the caves and try to figure out what's going on before UNIT does anything stupid. And Liz is like, well, I'm coming too. The doctor's like, but you can't. And then she's like, but I'm gonna. And he's like, okay. He did not take a lot of convincing. He did his obligatory you can't. And then she's like, but I'm gonna. And he's like, yeah, right.
At this point, he's like, there's no, she's gonna follow me 5 minutes later, and anyway, I know how this goes. we might as well go in at the same time so I can keep an eye on her.
So they have Quinn's map, which they stole from his office. They go to the caves. They're like, the map says to go this way, but this way is way much quicker. Let's go this way. And then the doctor's like, don't, wait. And, Liz almost steps in.
The acidy stuff.
The bubbly liquid. Before they do, they find Baker's stuff. So they're like, he must have come here. I'm like, well, let's stick to Quinn's route, because apparently there's booby traps. They do, and they get to the door, the fancy door. Very luckily, another Silurian shows up, and opens the door, so they know how to open the door. Which also, they ran around and hid behind a wall, and then the Silurian opens the door, goes in, and the door closes, and the doctor comes out, and he's like, I don't know how he didn't see us.
I was so happy. I'm just so happy to have it acknowledged.
We were hiding in plain sight. I have no idea.
We were barely even hidden. That was crazy.
But the doctor has a key to the door, which is the device, the boop device. So he uses it, they go in, they sneak around, they see other Silurians, they find Baker in a cell. The Silurians...
Angry? I mean, I guess you would be too, but...
They're keeping him prisoner. They're asking me lots of questions, and I'm not telling them anything.
Not giving them any information.
The doctor's like, well, you should do the same. Tell them some things, and then try to get information out of them, and then we'll come back for you. The doctor and Liz are having trouble sneaking back out, because more Silurians are being awoken from hibernation. And they try to sneak out one way, but they bump into the giant dino. Which, by the way...
What is he?
Yes, and also he does nothing.
I think there's mention of he's our
guard
security,
dog.
But no, he doesn't do anything.
He attacked the one guy at the beginning of the episode, but every time you see him after that, well, he attacked another guy, but after that, from this point on, you just see him behind a door where they've clearly just put in different video. This is where they use the color separation overlay. And they just look in the door and like, oh my god, there's a big dinosaur there. Okay, go around It's in a room. It's not even, like, blocking anything. It's a little cheesy and, like, doesn't really add anything at this point.
I wonder if it had a bigger role, but they, like, made it and they were like, oh no. Let's minimize the use of this one.
Could be. Because all it does is hang out in this room. That's it. And people, like, run to it and go, ah! While looking into it. But they're not in the same room with it? I don't know.
It's very scary.
So there's another power loss. No one can get a hold of Quinn or Dawson. Quinn, because he's dead. I don't know about Dawson. There's a new sassy assistant in the lab who won't put up with, like, the suit guy's bullshit. He's just, like, very calmly and telling him, like, shit's fucked up. What do you want? And then the higher-up arrives, who is a guy I've seen in something before, but I don't know what. He's very familiar. I should have looked him up before recording this podcast. Do you guys know who he is? He seems vaguely famous. Vaguely famous. Is that an oxymoron?
Anyway.
The suit guy was like, listen, here's everything I hate about UNIT and the doctor and everything. Laying it all out for you.
Which, by the way, he doesn't believe anything's happening at all?
Yeah, that's what this character does.
I'm just saying. He's like, everything the doctor says is bullshit. They're like, okay, but what about, like, all this 3 people who are, like, injured and a couple people who have died? And he's just like, nope, they're making it all up. It's all a conspiracy against me.
They're making up all this bullshit about, like, sabotage and monsters, and it's all stupid. So the doctor and the Brig show up in the middle of this meeting, and the Brig's like, I want to go do stuff in the caves, and the higher-up's like, nope, can't do it. But then the doctor's like, also like, no, you shouldn't do it, because I know what's going on. Meanwhile, the Silurians start questioning Baker, and they are arguing over what to do with him.
And they're kind of xenophobic, you guys.
Well, one of them is.
One of them, yes.
One of them's like, I don't think we have enough information. We don't know if they're bad or good or what. This is just one guy. And the other one's like, they should kill them all!
He's like, they're apes and they're inferior beings, and it's our planet, so we should just get rid of them.
I was like, I don't know. Maybe we should ask her boss.
Maybe we should just calm down. They seem to be living here now with, like, they seem intelligent, so we gotta figure out what's going on. We gotta figure out what's happening.
The doctor starts telling everybody that they are the Silurians. They've been there forever. This is their planet, basically. They
are Earthlings.
Yeah, and like we've sort of taken over from them. And he's like, I want to go in there alone and talk to them and try to sort things out peacefully. And they're starting to be like, yeah, okay, that sounds all right. And then Dawson, the woman from the lab, shows up and says, Quinn is dead. He's been murdered by a Silurian. Kill all Silurians. And then the Brig's like, well, I'm moving in with my unit soldiers. And approval is given. And it's like, fuck. But the doctor bolts down to the caves to try to warn the Silurians before UNIT gets there. Because he knows the way UNIT doesn't. Which he just walks into their, like, center of command and just goes, hey, I'm here. And they're all like, whoa, hey, what's up?
Get in! So, oh, sorry, I had a key.
So the doctor is taken prisoner and questioned. He's like, I want to help. I want peace.
By the way, a bunch of soldiers are coming. Just like, heads up.
And they're like, well, thanks for the heads up. And they trap them in this, Brig and his troops, his soldiers. They get trapped in this room, like a wall comes down and they're just stuck in this area. Then a Silurian comes back to the doctor and the doctor's like, well, are we going to have peace talks now or whatever? And he's like, no, the humans that you told us about, we destroyed them. Now it's your turn. And then just starts beaming in with a red light and the doctor's like, ah! And that's the end. Like, oh shit. They're just killing the doctor.
And everyone else.
They're like, we're going to destroy all you apes. And that's the end of episode 4. We're now into episode 5, which I have called The Cave of Kazoo. Or Kazoos, rather. The Cave of Kazoos.
Because of the score.
Yep. There's a piece of music in this episode. I'm 95% sure was done on kazoos.
I think so.
It works.
It is effective.
So the doctor's getting red lighted. The other Silurian, the one that's like, hey, give humans a chance, shows up and stops him and says there's too many humans. And the other one's like, well, we'll kill them all. It's fine.
But it just so happens we have a virus. I think like the way they say it is like, yeah, when we used to have a problem with apes, they were like getting into our crops and stuff. They were pests. We would kill them all off with this virus. It'll probably still work.
So in the prison cell, the doctor and Baker get into a bit of a fight. And Baker straight up chokes the doctor. So even if the Silurians aren't going to kill the doctor, Baker's going to kill the doctor. But one of the Silurians stops him and releases the doctor and is going to take him to the head Silurian, the leader of the Silurians. Liz accidentally gives away that the doctor is down there doing stuff because the doctor confided in her, but no one else. Dawson uses this as more fuel to push the agenda of destroying all Silurians, but the higher up guy is still not sure. The Silurians are talking about why they went into
hibernation.
Yeah, which there was going to be this big catastrophe that happened, but it didn't happen. We got a moon instead.
Yes.
They were around before the moon?
Yes.
Does that line up with the Silurian era?
Oh man, I don't know.
But they also said that the power station, when they started fucking around with stuff, that's what woke them up, and that they're now going to reclaim the Earth. But the doctor's like, hey, listen, you can live peacefully with the humans. You guys can live in the hot places that no one likes living in. Like
there's large
Vegas.
Chunks of inhabitable places.
You guys stay in the hot places, we'll take all the cool places that you guys don't like. It's cool.
Cheersies.
Meanwhile, like the unit guys that are trapped in the room, one of them has started drawing cave paintings because apparently that's what you do here when you go fear crazy, is you just draw shit on the walls. But they're finally released, and I guess he's okay. I don't know. We don't know what happens to that guy. Maybe he just continues his artist career.
Maybe he has a long and rewarding art career.
But I think the Silurian agrees with the doctor. They shake hands on it, and they're like, yeah, that'll be fine. We can live peacefully. But that other Silurian is pissed. He's like, we're going to revolt. I don't like this leader. He's dumb, and he has dumb opinions. And the other guy's like, I don't know, he seems okay. He's like, no, we're revolting. He's like, all right, I guess.
They all get talked into it. Then literally one of them's like, well, you can't do that. He's our leader. And he's like, I'm the leader now. Oh, okay. Good point. Good point. Like, everyone gets talked into it very easily.
And they're like, we're going to do some experiments on Baker to test out this thing that they're going, the virus, this weapon. They're gonna, and so, but Baker like bolts, tries to get away, but is halted by the door of giant dinosaur, and is caught. And they give him a virus.
Super deadly.
Yeah, it's really bad virus. And they're using him as a test to see if it'll work, because they don't know about humans. The Silurian agrees to the doctor's plan. The leader does. But he's like, I'm going to go tell the other people, and leaves him in this room, which they puts up a force field or something, and it just looks like the doctor's in a mine box. But then the Silurian leader finds out what they're doing to Baker, and is like, what the hell, man?
That's not cool.
The leader takes the virus, gives it, like, in a tube. It's in a tube or whatever, and he gives it to the doctor. He's like, maybe you can find a cure. Everyone under me is stupid and did a bad thing. But Baker has gotten back to the base and is like, the doctor is in cahoots with the Silurians, and he's evil, and so is the Silurians, and we should destroy them. And then the doctor shows up and is like, don't listen to him. He's sick. He has a virus, and he really is. Like, his skin's all like fucked up.
It's on his arm at first, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like these
boils.
Yeah.
He looks like a pizza.
Oh.
Well, am I wrong? He looks like a pizza.
Looks a little bit like a pizza.
And then meanwhile, the Silurians are like in a fight about all this. And the leader's like, that was dumb, you're stupid, you don't know anything about, like, politics. The one angry Silurian's like, well, fuck you, and kills him. Kills the leader. He's like, I'm leader now. That's how our system works. Whoever kills the other leader is the new leader now.
That's how most systems work.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah.
So if you assassinate the president...
Well, not that one. Most things that are not a democracy.
Wow. Huh. So...
Something for you to think about.
The higher up guy is like, I don't know why the doctor wants to help these people. I'm shutting this place down. And he's like, I'm gonna go get that paperwork taken care of or whatever, and leaves. Which is bad. Because the virus is super infectious.
Yeah, why did they let him leave?
I don't know.
Which, by the way, at this point, the suit still is like, that's not a real virus. This is all some sort of weird prank. Like,
which is probably why he lets him leave. Because it's just the higher up and the suit guy.
And the suit. Oh.
He's like, it's all bullshit. And he's like, I don't know. I'm going to have to go talk to people about this. And then, like, leaves.
But
and
he should know better.
he should. He doesn't. And then the doctor...
It's so bad, you guys. So bad.
The doctor and the brig go to the hospital to check on Baker to see how he's doing. And Baker is just running around in front of the hospital and dies right there.
Yeah.
Just falls down dead.
I don't think they got a hospital set.
They're like, what do we do? I don't know, have him running around out front. He just dies when they get there. They're like, he died of the virus. And the doctor's like, the first one. Like, that's ominous.
Well, yeah. The virus is ominous.
That's the end of episode 5. We're now into episode 6, which I've called Rise of the Planet of the Silurians, which is a reference to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, because it also has a virus. And so, guess what? Quarantine. This whole place is under quarantine now.
The whole hospital, which you never see.
Yeah, and the base and everything. It's all under quarantine.
And now it's time for the doctor to do a science.
Yay! This maybe goes on a little too long.
A little bit, yeah.
There's a lot of just like, oh, I don't know, let's put the red bits and the green bits. That doesn't seem to do anything.
Well, I like that. So he's going about finding a cure. And the scientific way they're going to do this is he has basically just ordered every medicine known to man, and he's like putting it in some infected blood and seeing if that fixes it. I'm like, I'm not sure that's really how that goes. I feel like you have to understand how a virus operates first before you're just like, try this one.
Right. And he gives everybody antibiotics on the base and stuff.
Yes.
And everyone who isn't already infected are fine. If they've gotten the antibiotics, they can't get infected, which I don't know how that works. But it doesn't cure people that have the infection, but it prevents them from getting the virus.
And he does say he doesn't know that. He's like, that's my best bet of like protecting people is give them all antibiotics. We can't know for sure, but it seems to.
Yeah, because like the brig's fine. Yeah. There's also a great scene where the brig is just hanging out there with the doctor just like looking at his stuff, and the doctor's like, go away. Why are you here?
Again, you are not welcome in Fort Science.
He's like, well, fine. I'm going to go get more troops so we can storm these caves, which just annoys the doctor more.
Just going to blow some shit up if you won't have me. Fine.
The doctor's like, well, fine. Leave! By the way, all this happens, and then they finally get rid of the Silurian leader, the dead one. They had to remove him from the... It's like, my goodness, how long was he in there?
Not as long as Quinn.
Fair. And they're like worried about like what if the doctor finds a cure for the virus, and the new leader is like, our science is better. He's a very evil guy.
He's not very nice.
He's also kind of dumb. Evil's dumb, you guys. Don't be evil. It's dumb. So the suit guy refuses to be hit up with the antibiotics because he thinks it's all bullshit. You called him a anti-vaxxer, right?
I did.
And then meanwhile, the higher-up guy is just going about infecting literally everyone.
First of all, they realize that he's not there. They're like, oh shoot, he must have left and gone back already. We gotta get him. And then they like cut to him like exiting a train, and you're just like, no, everyone's on the train. The train is everyone, and like he's just made it to London. Like throughout this episode, they will cut like back to London, and people are just dying.
It's a montage of death.
I mean, like, there are bodies on the train station floor.
For some reason, though, he takes longer to die than any of them.
If he had died sooner, it wouldn't have been so bad.
It shows, like, this montage of death, and then it shows him dying.
Finally dying, yeah.
Like, stumbles down some stairs.
A high body count.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
They find out that outbreaks are happening everywhere, and they're like, we've got to figure out a cure. The suit guy,
whose name
is Lawrence, according to the notes, basically has become infected. They're like, we got to help you, and he still refuses, even though he's fucked up.
Yeah.
And he tries to attack the brig, like he rushes at him to fight him, then falls over dead.
Just straight up dies from his own ignorance.
It was terrifying. And then we cut to the doctor who has been doing science this whole time. He puts a thing with a thing and he goes, Eureka!
It slides. He's got slides. He's got drops of blood and medicine on, and he's finally found the right combination. He does say Eureka though, and it's so silly.
The doctor is like, I figured it out, and the brig's like, well, make more of it. And he's like, I'll go write down the formula. And he goes to go write down the the formula. Meanwhile, the Silurians are like worried about the doctor, so they're going to come and kidnap him, and they bust in while he's writing the formula down, and they attack him, and they take him. I'm going to be honest, we missed a little bit of this. I'm not sure where this cliffhanger ended because our episode messed up.
Well, we saw it all.
We saw it all because it was the beginning of the next episode, but I don't know exactly when the cliffhanger happened. So
That's true.
But that's probably the end of episode 6. We're now definitely into episode 7, the last episode, which I've called Three's Tight T-Shirt.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no indeed. So they kidnap the doctor. A soldier catches them doing it. They kill the soldier. And then they seal up the hole they made, which someone kind of notices and goes, there's a big, burn mark on that wall. Should maybe tell somebody, I guess. It's not like, I don't know.
Like they weren't covering their tracks. It was more just thoughtful.
Well, I mean, I guess it stops them from taking that route.
That's true, yes.
Guess. I don't know. But the brig is getting, super upset. Where's the doctor with that fucking formula? I told him to give me that formula.
Well, he's got people on the phone calling him hey, everybody in London's dying. Please tell me you have the formula. And he's like, I can't rush science. I'm doing my best. And he's like, I know if I go in there and stand over his shoulder, I'm going to get kicked out again.
So Liz is like, I'll do it. I'll go and check on him. And of course, she can't find him. So she's looking through all the notes trying to find the right formula.
Because of course, the doctor has just left a mess.
They find out and the brig's like, well, since the doctor's been clearly kidnapped by the Silurians, I'm sending all the troops. And Liz has found the formula, and one she thinks is the formula, and sends it off.
It's by the way, she has a stack of papers, and in that stack of papers, there's a crumpled up ball of paper, and she uncrinkles it and is like, oh yeah, it's this one. It's the trash looking one.
As terrifying as the virus is and everything.
Mm-hmm. It gets solved quickly, but there's not a lot of resolution to it. Because it's kind of yeah, we saved the people that we could.
It's not the focus of the episode at all. The whole thing is whether or not to destroy the Silurians and everything. And then there's this virus outbreak plot that happens sort of in the middle of it. It's not even the whole serial is this, we gotta stop this virus. It's 2 episodes of a 7-parter. There's a whole lot of not sure what they're doing, but it just sort of fluctuates, which I guess keeps a 7-parter
from getting stale.
But also makes it also feel less cohesive.
I mean, a huge part is that a 7-parter is not meant to be watched in 1 or 2 sittings like we watched it.
So the Silurians are going to wipe out the humans. They need generator power, but the generator's off. And the Silurians need it on so that they can get power to wake up more Silurians and etc.
Yeah, they finally were able to turn the place off.
Yeah, because the higher-up shut it down. Yeah. And they're like, that's not good for us. So the Silurians are going to take the doctor back to the lab, to the research center, make him fix it so that they can get the power. They reopen the hole that they made, that they sealed up. The brig and Liz and everybody are there. The troops are there. And they're like, oh no, prepare to shoot. And then the doctor steps out. And they're like, well, maybe not. Maybe not. And then the Silurians follow. The doctor's like, they need our help and we're going to help them. They try to kill the brig, but I think the doctor shoves their arms to the side so they don't shoot the brig. He's like, no killing people. But another soldier died.
Oh.
So, but at least it wasn't the brig. But he's like, I'm not going to help you guys if you're killing people. So stop killing people and I'll help you. I think the doctor at some point sort of indicates to Liz we're helping them. Wink.
Which I think still if it's not the brig, it's another member of UNIT who is scandalized. Who's we can't help them? And Liz is like, he knows what he's doing. You know he knows what he's doing. Will you just... So obviously he has a plan. He's the doctor. So
the Silurians bring in this big machine, a molecular disperser, that they're going to hook up to the lab thing. And what it's supposed to do is destroy some belt around the world, the thing that keeps the bad shit out of Earth, the stuff from space, rays and shit. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
No, please continue explaining it to me.
It was some specific belt. I don't remember what they said it was, but it keeps out
what's it keep
harmful out? Radiation rays and stuff. You know what I'm saying.
And why is that their plan?
To kill all humans, and they're fine with it because they can take that shit, right?
It's heat. They're going to heat up the planet.
They're gonna. Thank you. Why didn't you just fucking say that?
It was too much fun. They're basically causing global warming.
This is very relevant even today. Doctor Who, keeping it real. The doctor is going around fiddling with stuff, telling Liz to do stuff like, hey, when I do this other thing, that'll make things happen that are good for us. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, yeah, I'm in on the plan now. And it's at this point that the third Doctor has stripped down to a tight white tank top t-shirt thing. And Toni makes like a noise. I turn to her and I'm just like, you're attracted to the third Doctor, aren't you? And she's like, what? How did you even know that that's what I was thinking?
Wait, and what did you say?
The man knows how to wear a t-shirt.
You knew!
Because I understood.
Because you also were thinking it.
That's like, he crawls up underneath the console and is like fiddling around with wires and shit. He's like a fucking mechanic. He's like, that'll fix her up real good.
My immediate thought was, oh no.
I believe what you said was, he's kind of got...
No, listen. Hey. Listen. Joseph.
Uh-huh.
Joseph.
A sexy...
Joseph. You don't... Joseph, listen. Listen. And then, what happened in the episode...
She said he's kind of got a sexy dad vibe.
I may have said those words.
Do you regret any of that?
I regret all of it. Regretted it immediately.
There's even a part where, like, ruffles his hair. And he does this pose.
Okay, first of all, the hair ruffle, I was just like, well, that's interesting. I don't know how to feel about that. He does do a pose. He puts his hand
on his hip.
On his hip.
And he's like, ha ha ha! That's when the day is saved, which is coming up. The Doctor breaks the disperser. Things start exploding. Things are getting worse. It's going to explode and there's going to be radiation. And the Silurians are like, well, fuck. We'll just go hibernate until the radiation goes away. So they leave to go hibernate. And then they're all like, well, thanks, Doctor, for saving the day. And he's like, well, I mean, it's not saved. This thing's still gonna explode.
He's like, I wasn't bluffing about that. It's really gonna explode.
So we should get out of here. And they're like, we can't get out of here. The Silurians, like, they fucked up the elevator. Mm-hmm. Or the whole place is shut down, so they can't. There's a way that they can't get out. And the Doctor's like, oh, I wish I had known that. So he's like, let me fiddle with some stuff. And that's when he goes under the thing and like a mechanic. Oh my goodness, that's how he started this serial. Under Bessie.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was on purpose. The Silurians are going to go into hibernation for 50 years, but one of them has to stay behind to do something. Which
wake them up. The thing that woke them up automatically has been damaged.
Well, I don't think he's going to stay there to wake them up, but he has to set the system or something. Yeah. And they all crawl into their things, but the leader, the really angry guy, uncharacteristically is like, I will sacrifice myself.
That's not uncharacteristic. He cares about the Silurians and nobody else.
Which is why he killed the other Silurian?
Yes. Yes!
Okay.
Because he wasn't doing what he thought was in their best interest.
His interest. See, though, I think it's like a self-interest thing. I feel like he would be too selfish he would be like, alright, you do it. I'm the king. Peace out. Gonna take a nap now. Anyway, they're gonna go to sleep for 50 years. But yeah, the Doctor fiddles with stuff and it's fine. It doesn't explode. And then the Doctor does his little hip pose and Tony's like, row.
That's not what happened.
Toni maybe didn't go row. I think she did went, oh, stop it.
I'm very confused about my feelings. We don't have to talk about it.
So the Doctor goes back to the cave to check and see if they're there, and he bumps into the new leader, and the new leader threatens the Doctor, I think. And the brig shoots the leader, kills him, which the Doctor is okay with. He's like, good job. But he's like, well, I need to work on some stuff down here. And the brig's like, what? Why? And he's like, well, I got to revive them. So I'm going to go get some equipment so I can revive the Silurians and we can talk. Because this guy was the dickhead.
He's dead now.
And he's dead now. So we'll start those peace talks up again. We'll wake them up one at a time. We're not going to wake them all up at once. You know, I just want to talk to him. He's like, don't do anything while I'm gone. And the brig's like, all right, I won't. You're fine. So Liz and the Doctor go to get equipment. This is when Liz and the Doctor are driving. And they're
driving down the road.
And the car stops.
Yes.
And that's when he does his, like, he puts in a liquid thing, and he, like, shows Liz where it's going throughout the car, and it goes out the back of the car, and the car starts up. Then there's some explosions. The brig blew up the base, blew up the whole thing.
Silurians, all of them.
Yeah, he blew them all up.
And the doctor's like, they were asleep. He murdered them. He murdered all of them.
Liz is like, he probably had commands from higher up. It wasn't his fault, blah, blah, blah. But the doctor's pissed and sad.
He's like, that's just straight up murder.
And then they drive off with explosions in the background. And that's it.
That's the end.
That's the end of Doctor Who and the Silurians.
Fight at the odds.
Well, this is a 7-parter, which I think means that it's effectively like a fairly decent, like, 2-parter, 2 to 3-parter, where it's like, yeah, the first episode kind of sucked. Which actually, when it comes to, like, modern day 2-parters, I feel like it's the other way around.
The first part
is always awesome, and then, like, it wraps up and you're like, oh.
It's because you lead to, like, this big cliffhanger. You're like, what? Where are you going to go from there? That was amazing. What are you going to do? And then it does stuff, and you're like, oh, okay.
And then the Doctor becomes Gollum and...
Dobby.
Yeah. Really didn't like that episode, guys. But no, it takes a while to get started. But then once it does, it's fun and interesting. And the end, it's the first time I think I've had a classic episode of Doctor Who where you just feel like you've been punched in the gut for like a long time. What would you say the last one was?
That one episode where we got Dodo. Like everything before Dodo. Where the Doctor's left alone in the TARDIS. Oh,
yeah. So this is one of the, like, first times in a while where Doctor Who has just been, like, at the end of it, you're just like, well, damn. Like, and you have that feeling a little bit, too, when, like, everybody's dying. Like, it had real stakes. I'm really a big fan of, like, Doctor Who monsters that aren't monsters, that are, you know, just complicated people. And this is a complicated problem, which we still haven't been able to solve, because we had another episode that was basically this episode.
Yeah, as a 2-parter.
In New Who?
Was it the Hungry Earth? And I don't remember the other one. Cold Blood or something like that? I don't remember what it was called.
But it's, you know, neither side is good or bad. They're just, both people have, like, claim to this place, and how do we solve it? And actually, it's really complicated, and we can't solve it. And sometimes the people that we like are the ones making the shitty choices. And that sure does suck.
It's a dark ending.
It's a really dark ending, and I love it.
I think that's hilarious, considering last podcast episode you were going on about like what you expected of 3, and you're like, cheesy, campy fun. And then this serial was like, virus outbreaks, moral dilemmas, the brig doing something shitty.
Although, if it's gonna be this sort of like, you're gonna have dark moral dilemmas while also having cheesy campy fun, that's a good mix for me. I'm a big fan of that. Also, I would just like to remind you here at the end of the podcast that somebody cut the Doctor sandwiches into stars. That's really the thing to take away from this cereal. And the Doctor can wear a t-shirt.
I have to say, all in all, I liked this serial. It definitely is too long. It definitely takes 3 episodes before I was even interested, really. The first episode's boring. The second episode, I don't...
You don't know what happens.
The only thing that was good before it got good was I enjoyed the, like, POV shots of the Silurian. It felt very, like, 80s horror movie, like the opening to Halloween sort of thing. Like, that stuff was really good. Everything else about it's just, like, spinning its wheels until it can set up the interesting plot, which is the Doctor, like, trying to help the Silurians. From the moment, like, he offered his hand in a handshake, that's when it got good to me. Even still, though, I feel like maybe there's a lot of interesting stuff, but maybe it doesn't all add up, doesn't all come together very well. Like, the virus is very interesting, but I don't know if it necessarily ties in very well with the Silurian thing. I feel like maybe they could have developed more Silurians, because we had 3 main Silurians. We had the leader, who was nice, the leader who was not nice, and then the one lackey guy who just goes along with whatever the current lead is. I feel like maybe if you develop that third guy a little bit more to be more conflicted about what's going on instead of just going along with whatever's happening, I feel like that might have made this a little bit stronger. But as it is, I still enjoy the questions this serial brings up. you know?
Yeah. When it's exploring stuff, that's when it's at its best.
I just wish it had been in a 4-parter. I feel like it could have been a lot tighter and stronger. But what is there that does works really well. Like Tony said, it's like a punch in the gut, that last scene. Just like, damn, I didn't expect it to get so dark so quick.
Yeah, like I said, I was expecting camp.
Like I said, everything with the virus, by the way, was also like when it was showing the people dying and just like harsh. You're like, damn.
I mean, people are dropping and bodies are literally piling up.
It's just terrifying. That's not at all camp. It's just scary. I tell you how great that is just the scene of the guy getting off the train and he's just walking through a crowd. And just that, you're just like, no. Just him walking around a bunch of people. That's it. Like, there's nothing like overtly scary happening. There's no monster. It's just a sick guy who doesn't know he's sick walking through a crowd of people. And that's just terrifying. So this episode did a lot of good things and I really enjoyed it. It's a little slow to begin with, but once it picked up, did great. Small plug, if you guys are in the Chattanooga area, please come to the Chattanooga Film Festival. You can come for the whole weekend. It's April 6th through the 9th. But specifically on the 9th, which is Sunday, at 10:45 a.m., there is a Tennessee Filmmakers Showcase block where I have a short film in it called Skip, which is a time travel science fiction thing. So if you like time travel and science fiction, which I'm assuming you do because you're listening to this fucking podcast, come check out Skip. I made it. You should watch it. Tony helped make the time device in it.
I did. I designed it.
You and my dad. So yeah, please come to that. So if you like this episode, you can check out more on Watch-A-Rassilon.com and be sure to rate and comment on our iTunes. If you do that, we get in the search results better. I don't know what magic.
It's iTunes magic. Don't worry about it. Just know that it helps, and we appreciate it.
Yes, so please just say something about us. Good, bad, in the middle.
We prefer good.
We prefer good, but we understand everything's not black and white. That's what this serial taught us. If you'd like to help us out even more, you can go to watchyourassilon.com/support. There you'll find a link to our Patreon page, which you can get to just by going to patreon.com/watchathon. And there you can donate a monthly amount to get all kinds of rewards, like videos of us watching the episodes, uncut video of the podcast records. You get to see Tony waving at you right now, and day early episodes. Also on our support page is a link to our Amazon wish list where you can sponsor an episode of the podcast by purchasing the corresponding serial on DVD for us. We'll mention you in the podcast and put your name on our Friends of Rassilon page. Speaking of, special thanks to Matt Golden for sponsoring this episode. You can follow him on Tumblr at mgoldentumbles.tumblr.com. That's Tumbles without an E because it's Tumblr.
Hey, thanks, Matt.
You're the best. Tune in next time when we talk about the Ambassadors of Death.
Doctor Who and the Ambassadors of Death?
No, it's just the Ambassadors of Death. So we'll see you then. Keep calm and Rassilon. Oh, and one last thing.
Yes.
Color separation overlay. Bye!
Eureka!